This is a 2-year-long investigation. Let me get the crowd updated real quick. Not going to take a lot of time up on this, but Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups, who I had a lot of hope for, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former Cleveland Cavaliers player and assistant Damian Jones have been arrested as part of a wide range of investigations ranging from illegal sports betting and rigged poker games backed by mafia families. 4 families, folks, are involved in this. 34 people arrested, covering 11 states. This is a 2-year-long investigation. Rozier is part of it was basically point shaving, something similar that Javante Porter Jr. or Porter, that's Michael Porter's brother. Remember, he got banned from the league from this, point shaving. Billups was a separate incident with illegal poker games, like $1.7 million or something, some ridiculous poker tournaments. There's a guy online that said he was aware of this 2 years ago. But like I said, this is a 2-year-long investigation, not directly implicated with the point shaving part, going back to Chauncey Billups, but indirectly as far as him switching out players that he coached at proper times to meet unders in particular basketball games and whatnot. So that somebody could testify against him. I know it sounds crazier by the second, but that's basically it in a nutshell. These guys could all 3 they're facing prison time. It's early in the indictment process. It's a very long, complex story. I couldn't read all the whole thing. I mean, I read as much as I can, but going over an indictment like this is very complex. But obviously these guys could get banned for life from the NBA, and I think maybe they could possibly change the rules on these prop bets. Individual prop bets. So I thought, man, that would be that is like holding bait in front of a fish, man. That's my take on it. What is yours? And we'll reflect off this. This is wild, ain't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not 1, not 2, not 3. I mean, this is 30 people involved in different and these
different
indictments
states around the country.
Yeah, different types of you got 3 different things going on, but the NBA is the main culprit with players, former players, referees, and then they add mafia bosses, and it's just like you said, it sounds like something from a movie.
A Scorsese film.
uh, and I think the reality is I feel like this happens every 10 years. Like there should be like there should be a lot more just I don't know. I feel like there should be more governance on the teams, on the players, and the rules should be a little bit stricter. Um and look, you're talking about a group in the NBA, like of athletes, owners, and people involved. It's really not that big if you look at the grand scheme of things. Compared to NFL, right? NFL teams have more players. I feel like they have more coaches because they have more players. And you're talking about the league, the NBA, and its growth and exponential growth in the last 10 seasons has been ridiculous, right? So this gonna be a little bump on the road, but I think the NBA as a whole, because it's small and compact compared to the other leagues, I think they'll get over this. It makes for even a more interesting season now. You have a couple coaches that won't be on the bench. You have players that won't be playing anymore in the NBA. You have referees that will not be called up again. So, and then
Referees. What did you hear about the referees?
well, there's former refs that are involved in the indictment.
Oh, okay. See,
As
there
well.
you go. I mean, you're hearing more than I heard about it. And which
Oh no, I
we
mean
had.
it's a lot of people involved. I think they just hit the major names of like of players that are
Yeah.
involved. Um, and again, this is just an indictment. Nobody's found guilty.
Right. It's all
It,
indictment. It's all accused, guilt, innocent, proven guilty, all that
the
good stuff.
the only thing is this that bothers me right now. Well, our FBI is not at its strongest point to follow through and maybe go. I'm not sure to what extent these indictments and the court and these court cases are going to go through, but I just don't like the grabbing at leaves things. Like just grabbing at stuff and trying to make stuff stick. These kind of cases is hard to make stuff stick. Hard to find a true, what's true. People say this, and these things can last years in court in court cases in the courts. So,
Yeah.
um, indictments are one thing, but you're not guilty. You're innocent to proven guilty. So
Yeah.
the only bad thing, again, it's like this takes away from these men being able to do their jobs as coaching and as a player or two that were on current rosters. So and again, like you said, it's a poker ring with Chauncey Billups and other high end players who were in the fix and allowed fans to come in and get got, right. So they were taken from they were using their name and image to get other people involved.
Yes.
And
Yes.
right, so
And
that's the
supposedly there were cameras involved.
right. They
Like,
had x-ray table, an x-ray poker table that could read the cards. They had cameras involved, and everybody in the poker game was in the fix except for the fish that they got. It was how they put it in the indictment. Then you have the other players involved in the point scams, like uh Tori Dozier, he would play a certain amount of minutes and get less than 10 points and then take himself out of the game and have people
fake an
bet on that.
injury. I thought that, when these props came up, and I thought somebody's going to try this. Now, mind you, he's making about 26 and some change a million a year, and he's supposed to make like 200 grand.
Right.
How
So
do you get in the head of somebody who's wanting to risk? Because, they can void his contract
yeah,
because of it.
and how he got caught in the indictment states that he received over $200,000 at his home that was delivered by parts of the delivered by those who were involved.
Yeah.
So he didn't put his name on anything, but he did get a money bag, and that's in the indictment.
Okay.
And then Damian Jones would text people about when LeBron was going to be active or not active to for
Yes.
them to for them to place bets. So here you go, you got somebody in the inside, uh, you know, inside trading going on over here, and you place bets on whether LeBron's going to have a good day or not, and he was a guy to go to. He was a go-to guy because he's a teammate
They
and
were
one of
kind of insinuating too. He wasn't listed in specifically in the indictment, but from what I read through a source, and it seemed like you read all this detail for detail, that LeBron kind of let this out that, hey, I'm not going to be there. Wink, wink.
right, right,
As if he had he leaked that out. Now that would be even bigger story if somehow LeBron got involved with this.
oh
Um, this would probably give Adam Silver a heart attack.
well,
You know,
my
if he got implicated.
yeah, even
Implicated.
just his name being mentioned is already going to be a headache for
It's
the
a PR
NBA,
nightmare. Yeah,
for yes, for LeBron James and for the rest of the league and the Lakers. Rest assured, if these things start going into court cases, he's going to be called upon as a witness, just to start with. So
yeah.
whether he's part of what's going on in the back end or whether you know he's going to be mentioned and he's going to be part of the court case, and it doesn't mean that he's at fault either. So it just this whole thing is, again, it's a lot going on, a lot of different stories going on over here, and I just hope, like, not to get people, convicted, but I just hope that the FBI does a better job of being organized than what
Yeah,
happened with the Charlie Kirk situation, and
yeah.
just stop trying to grab at straws, and just, if you're gonna indict
When you listen
somebody.
to Stephen A. Smith, he and I don't know why he gets away with some of the stuff he says. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned Charlie Kirk because I was gonna try to play that. I might be able to play it for everybody. If you can't hear this, let me know. Um, Listen to Stephen A. Smith. Now, what he's about to tell you, as I mentioned, and I said it twice to emphasize, this is a 2 year long investigation, which means the FBI went through the last director, through the former administration, through this administration. So this is not political. This is in the ESPN and ABC's reporting on this. But listen to what Stephen A. Smith, who is a clown, he's officially a clown now, talking out of his rear end, saying crazy stuff on ESPN Airways and not being held accountable for this. I got a feeling he may have to walk this back next week after they get on to him, do a Ryan Clark type of apology. But listen to Stephen A. Smith. If you can't hear him, let me know. I didn't get a chance to download it to the computer.
You know what world that I live in terms of politics? How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming? He's coming. We'll say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in mass deportations. The Super Bowl, disrupting things. Big night for the NBA. When Rihanna put on a show, that's now been smeared because we're talking about this story. Okay. Remember, Trump has a long, long history connected to the world of sports because he had those casinos. Where do you think folks were coming at half the time? I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the culture. When people want to go to a casino, when people want to gamble, when people want to party, whatever the case may be, this was his kind of connection to that. Why am I glad you're here, Monica? Because don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. Because when you got all of
Now, again, I just said, and ABC said this is a 2 year long. He makes it look like that this was a 3-month-old indictment, that this
Right.
was all thrown together, and the trigger got pulled today. Rather, it went through 2 FBI directors, 2 presidencies, and this guy that was talking about, that's another long cut, but he's on the internet. I might be able to find him. Basically saying in 2023 that Chauncey Billups is rigging poker games with professional players. So
Right.
this is so. Let me ask you this question: What is your opinion of thinking put yourself in the mind of a successful guy? These are all allegations, but as a successful guy of the level of Chauncey Billups, you have his success, you have his money. Just a side note for this, we'll finish this question. When I was going through general manager training for Wendy's for 2 weeks, and I hated it, but I quit. But during training, they were telling me that a guy named Bridgemont, last name, I can't remember his name, but he used to play for the Pistons back in the 80s, owns most of the Wendy's in Nashville. And Chauncey Billups was, and I said, I know Chauncey Billups. Yeah, I'm a big basketball fan, blah, blah, blah. I'd like to meet him. She said, well, yeah, I met him the other day, blah, blah, blah. He's in town. He's going to invest into some franchises, So I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. This guy's a former player. He's making millions as a coach. What makes you this amount of money we're talking about doesn't even come close to that? Why would he risk getting banned, getting a Pete Rose like ban? Why would you risk that when you've already got it made? I'll give you my answer, but what is your opinion? How did you get in Chauncey Billups' head to even think about doing something like this?
Yeah, well, so this all happened when he just like retired basketball before he got the coaching opportunities.
Okay.
So these guys are, these basketball players, they have lives, they have vices, they're regular human beings, like, and we have to take that into consideration. And the to get money, to make money, and then not have money or making as much money as you used to, even though you have something coming in, that can play in the mind of anybody, especially a former athlete who's making a couple million to a lot of millions in the season, and now they're down to making the retirement check, which is not in the millions, right? It's in the hundreds of thousands because they're retiring, and they get it in droplets. But So, and then the competitiveness comes out in you. You're not on the basketball court anymore. So what do? A lot of these guys, they have poker games at friends' houses. They go to these poker tournaments as celebrities,
Yeah.
former celebrity athletes. So, I don't. There's there's no wrong in those things. It becomes wrong when you get into a situation that Chauncey Billups is in right now, where he was caught up in a ring with people and he was part of the scam,
Yeah.
so to speak, and that's what his indictment's about. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but that's what he was indicted for. So, and that's not, I wouldn't say that's neither here nor there, because to keep it's hard to keep image clean, right? It's hard to keep
Yeah.
your profile clean. And when you talk about money and doing events like poker tournaments, or even doing them privately, different things can happen. And again, this is not just Chauncey Billups. This is him being involved with crime bosses of 4 different families. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and who knows how that conversation started, right? And there's a lot of situations that former athletes and current athletes get into so that they can keep making money, so that it can be, in the now, so they can be in the limelight. So, it's not always, I can't say it's not always their fault, but they do have to be accountable for the actions they do take and the consequences that will come. Well, if that so happens to go the negative route and the illegal route. So, and not and it doesn't always turn out like that, right? Because you got Tom Brady, a former athlete, and he's doing things, he's trying to do everything by the book. But if we were to find out that I mean, he right now there was an issue about his manager who was and the protein shakes and all that, and he kind of got
The
rid of that.
trainer guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So he kind
Uh-huh.
of like moved. He kind of moved away from that. So those kind of things, they gonna happen, man. And unfortunately,
Oh, is he not doing the TB12 stuff no more?
I'm not
Or
sure.
is he back burnered that or something?
I think he still owns the brand name, but he's not pushing it because of the stuff that happened with the trainer. Like, so,
Okay.
but what I'm just saying is that, like, things are going to happen because they're a celebrity and they're a known name, and they have an image and their likeness that they can make money off of, because that's all that's left. They can no longer be on a field, on a court, on a ring, or do wherever it is that they do as athletes, performance wise. So my take is this: is like, it's going to happen. It's unavoidable to some extent, of being of some of these things happening, right? Because of the fact that you're dealing with trying to make money or trying to double up your money in different types of businesses and opportunities. And it's sad that this is what it is, and this indictment comes through, especially with the person who had a clean image like Chauncey Billups.
Yeah. And it,
So
looked like they were building something up there with that group up there in Portland. Had a
yeah,
lot of young talent there.
yeah,
Something, you made a good point though. That idol's mind is a devil's workshop. When you're I think maybe there's no reports that he had money problems. Maybe he was just bored and he's looking to get a new score, get new
right.
money coming in, and thought, man, this seems pretty easy. Yeah, it's unethical, but nobody's going to know about it. We can keep it low key. And this kind of money is very fast, very easy. This could be my play money. I can go out and chase women with this money. I can do some personal gambling with this money. I can splurge this
Like,
money.
there's former basketball players, Paul Pierce, um,
Who's got in trouble, by the way, recently, charged with a DUI.
this guy, what's his name, from the Washington Wizards, who brought the guns and has a
Gilbert
podcast.
Arenas.
Arenas. They all have had private games in their homes. They've had celebrities come
Which
over, and
I wouldn't dare show up to those games.
yeah, but no, but like, so there's it's I wouldn't say it's part of the culture, but people know that these things, if they're not doing it in the private, they'll go to the casinos and do it. Michael Jordan
Yeah.
was known to go to the casino before a few nights
Yes,
before the game.
yes.
So it's something that because they have a
He
little bit
bet
of
on
money.
golf and stuff and golf.
Yeah.
I mean, that's widely publicized.
Yeah, so it's not it's a vice, but it can go all the way to the wrong. There's a former basketball player who made more money on selling spinners and Latrell Sprewell than he did on the NBA.
Okay.
For those 4 or 5 years, the spinners were really like
Oh, he
like
did?
popular.
Sprewell
Yeah,
did?
so
Oh,
yeah, Latrell.
nice.
So
He got in a lot of trouble for choking that coach one time.
that was before that was as a player, but then right before he retired, he invested it in a couple companies that were making spinners for the cars
Okay.
back in the mid to late 90s, and he made at one point he was making in 1 year he was making doubling up on what he made as an NBA player. So
Nice.
sometimes
That's a good
opportunities
story. Good.
so yeah, sometimes opportunities come and there's good stories, but everybody again, these are at the end of the day, these are human beings. Mistakes can be made, and we gotta, support them in making sure that they, at the end of the day, they gotta be accountable for what they did
Oh,
and
yeah.
live with the
Yeah.
consequences. But then also we have to be, as fans, in a way, supporting the fact that their vices brought it down, but we have to try to prop them up because like at the end they maybe Chauncey Billups was a coach. Is he ever going to get a second chance if all this
If they can prove that he's taking players out and doing like a Pete Rose type of situation, he's probably banned for life. Like,
right? I mean,
that's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah. So we got to, this implies this is a land of opportunity and second chances. So I hope
maybe a college will give him a job years from now. He may go to prison for some time. You never know.
Right.
It's a 2-year deal. So
this could be like a what's this guy's name from the Falcons, Michael Vick, when he had his situation.
Yeah.
And
he went to prison, came back, and had a great comeback. So
a
little bit different because this was gambling, and how these leagues are about gambling. They're real strict.
Right. No, but the pit bull thing, it wasn't just an animal.
It was really bad. It was a bad PR thing for it.
Yeah, it was also a money ring thing because it was gambling.
Yes. Oh, because they were betting on the pit bulls.
Yeah.
A horrible situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And fortunate for him and the Eagles, he was a great comeback story. Billups is older. He should know better than this. But, hey, we're all human, like you said. And, guys, we talked about this before. I'm sure that these players, a lot of them get lost after they retire, and they can't quite scratch that itch. This week, Doug Martin died. They said he had some mental health issues. He's only 36 years old.
36 years old, bro.
Yeah. So they're lost after their careers. I mean, they don't. And obviously, any coach, any parent will tell you, you got to have, after your career plan, way before you even start your career, because the thing could be over with at 20 years old, 25.
Right.
You can be over with in high school, you get the right injury, So, unfortunately, but that's life in this that type of field. Staying in the NBA.